So, Man United 3, Burnley 1. Listen, after that performance against Newcastle, which actually felt like a loss. You know what I mean? You forget we actually didn't lose that game, but it was so bad it felt like we did.
It felt like a loss, man.
We beat Norwich, but again, felt a bit flat, but the distance between the games made us think, all right, cool, we go again against Newcastle. So after those 2 games, unbeaten, yes, but we needed to just win today. We did win. But how you feeling about it all after you've kind of taken it?
Listen, all I got to say is Scott McTominay. I mean, today, probably the man of the match. I thought he typified everything about the performance in the first half. Second half, I thought he kind of, showed a bit of fight, a bit of, desire to win the second balls. But today was a game of 2 halves for me. First half, I thought it was a weird game, man. They could have been. They could have had 2-3 goals that first half.
It's like De Gea didn't have anything to do.
Yeah, no, but the transitional moments.
Yeah, exactly.
The transitional moments is where it's still worry for me because they got at us many, many times. But we could have gone Ronaldo a goal up. You know what I mean?
He's got to score that.
He's got to score, mate. I think it kind of bounced in the air. I'm not giving it excuses, but I'm on the other side. But today, man, it was a weird game. Taylor 2 halves. I thought first half. First 10-15 minutes, our transition was just unbelievably poor, man. And it has to step up, man, because for me, listen, everyone's coming up with Maguire, but for me, I don't know what's up with him, mate, because he tries to come in, for the ball, and then he misses out, and then there's almost, we're back to the front, and then Bailly's like having to kind of, bail
him out.
Yeah, bail him out. But then, everything's quite wide open because Shaw's going forward and we want to be having them quick transitions. But if we've got Maguire at the back, it doesn't help, does it? You know what I mean? Which I don't know what RALF Rangnick does. Does he drop Maguire? Does he do anything? That's up to him. But for me, today, I thought the first half, we got the goals, we were clinical, but I thought the aggression in the first half was there for me today. A lot of people will say, well, you're probably far-fetching it, but I thought we were aggressive in the first half. I thought we won the 50-50s in certain moments. I thought we played the ball quicker, and I thought we were direct, man. Sancho, was direct. Greenwood, direct. I thought that's what you have to do. Them number 10s have to be direct. They have to have that risk element where they go forward with the ball. You know what I mean? Sometimes with side to side, man. I don't want to see that nonsense, man. You know what I mean? That's where Burnley get back into their shape. And then they
were comfortable in large parts of the 4-4-2 in the shape. And we play in front of them.
Yeah, 100%. But that's going to complex. They're used to this. They're the most versatile 4-4-2 you're going to get because they play it well. And you're almost thinking Jack Cork in there. I always say it. How did they get away with it? But they do it well, and that's why a lot of people don't rate Sean. I think a lot of time Sean Dyche gets criminally underrated, but he does it well. And for me, we're going to take a long time. But I thought Scott McTominay played that box-to-box role that we knew, I'm not Scott McTominay's biggest fan, but I knew there was almost a box-to-box player in there.
Well, that's his best attribute.
That's his best
when you tell him to sit and hold as a defensive midfielder, that's not his thing.
And RALF Rangnick has to tell him to go forward with the ball. But the problem is, though, and I rate Fred, but you can't have them two together because they both like to kind of go forward. And it's like, Matic today sat, it's almost invincible. I didn't really see Matic, but that's what you want, though. But he's that kind of shield for the back four, even though he's not really a shield right now because the back four's still cut wide open. But it's like one goes forward, helps out with the four up top, and then you've got a bit of control because then I can't be having more of these games where Burnley are kind of controlling the game. We need to have that control about us, and that will take time. And I think it's a process. I don't like to use the word process, but it is a steady process, and there will be improvement. I think it will still get bad before it gets better, but we can still see signs of transitionally. We're a bit more aggressive today. 50-50 was in there.
How did the two fullbacks do coming in?
I thought Shaw was great first half. Everyone was great first half. Wan-Bissaka, listen, KG, you have to speak on your boy, man. I don't know. Listen, you know what it is with Wan-Bissaka? It's just awkward. It's awkward. When he gets the ball, he just doesn't have that kind of right movement. When Dalot can just turn his body out.
It's technique.
It's technique, exactly. And you're not born with that. You know that kind of talent. You've either got it or you haven't. And Wan-Bissaka, there's no shame in it. He has got his own qualities. Yeah. But Dalot is, for me, still ahead of him. But Shaw, for me, that kind of run there. You know what I mean? That's what Shaw does and Telles doesn't, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah. But then Telles, for me, in
his
terms
willingness
of
to cross from
wide areas,
well,
it's what we need as well, because then you've got Cavani and Ronaldo up top. So they have different qualities, but if RALF Rangnick can get the best out of both of them, we've got two good left backs if they're on form. But Shaw, I thought first half, he was direct, he was willing to get forward more, which I've always been a criticism of him. But today it was a tale of two. Second half, let's forget that. Let's forget it. Listen, I was looking at the Sky, mate. I was looking at Burnley fans, you know what I mean, doing all sorts of nonsense, you know what I mean. But the first half, if we can get that 70 minutes, then 80 minutes, then a full half. Because people talk about, systems and whatnot. You look at Guardiola in his first season, it wasn't perfect. They just about reached top 4. And I'm not trying to compare Ralf Rangnick to Guardiola, but things take time to embed. This is not going to be an overnight fix. This is not even going to be a 1 month. It could take 2 months, but you've got to be willing to understand that if Ralf Rangnick is ruthless, and I think he will, he dropped Fred today. People can say Varane's injured or whatnot, but still he was out of the team because
he made a lot of changes today.
Yeah, of course.
Rashford, sit down.
Sit down,
even
mate.
Unused sub as well.
Listen, sit down.
He put on Dalot in that position ahead of Donny van der Beek.
There
and
you
Rashford.
go.
And
Listen,
Rashford played in that position
exactly, but that's him thinking about the system rather than personnel.
So do you think that this is a sign that Ralph's saying, listen, this is my system, you better like it or lump it?
Absolutely, man. These players, for me, they're whinging and whining about, finishing training late. They're whinging about certain things not going their way, mate. Listen, forget all of that nonsense. You either play for this football club and you do what you're told, or you leave the football club, and that's for anyone, mate. Because for me, they got Mourinho out the job. Whether we like it or not, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, there was a bit of tendency where they kind of got him out of the job. This ain't going to happen with Ralf Rangnick. This whole player power needs to stop, mate. Some of them think they're better than what they are, I'll be real with you. Some of them, like Rashford, for me, is kind of, derailed in the past year or so. He needs to get back to the level he was. But is that because there's no accountability from the players? Is there a lack of hunger? Is there a lack of kind of willing to prove yourself? Some of the players have got it too easy. Like, I've been on Greenwood's case for the last 2 games, but today, he stepped up. You seen it in the first half. That slide tackle. Yeah. The whole East Stand was like roaring, thinking, is that Greenwood?
And they're the basics of the game, though.
Of course,
just
but we haven't seen that.
Energy.
When you haven't seen that flex, though, it almost becomes a surprise. And it's like, them kind of simple things are what Bernardo Silva does. But these kind of players, you wouldn't think, Bernardo Silva, is there.
Renowned for the work rate,
but you've got to do it as a player. You've got to, if what's the old saying about hard work meets talent, and that's what you've got to have. And I think some of the players have almost thought, I don't need to work hard. I don't need to prove anything to them. But you got to make, or Ralf Rangnick will be ruthless. And I'm happy for him to pick system over players, because I've seen the best players come in and he hasn't worked. We had Van Gaal when he had Di Maria, Falcao and all that. It didn't work.
So you want to see him persist with that?
I want to see him persist with it to the point where if it works, okay, today, we could talk about second half, it didn't work and we were a bit edgy in certain moments, but if he can pick up, players based on a system rather than the other way around, I'm happy with that. And step by step, we go into Wolves, which for me is a different test as well, because they'll be low block, but they'll have a bit of zip about them, where they'll go, use Adama Traore, and we'll be able to cope with that. But we'll deal with the test as it comes. But for now, for me, it is going to be that situation where you get the 3 points, and it might not be the performance you want, but you're not going to get this overnight, because we've had 2-3 years of no identity or no kind of style of play, and it's not going to work overnight. It isn't. But you got step by step, back Ralf Rangnick. Let's see what you can do in January. I think we need midfielders, I'll be honest with you. I think Matic today, he looked leggy in certain situations, and I thought, was he just there to protect and rather than not do anything with the ball? I think we probably need a midfielder, but everything else apart from that, we got the talent up front. It's just the fact that they haven't been working hard enough and they haven't been willing to press. In this system you have to press. I thought Cavani ran his socks off today, even though he
couldn't get in the game
attacking
attacking wise.
but that will come. That will come, and slowly but surely our passes will be much more decisive. I think today we could have made a few passes second half, we're a bit more sloppy, but that's just things creeping into the game where I don't think it'll go away. Them little things that that have been happening for the last 2 years, it won't go away. But step by step, slowly but surely, the fans today, they believed, especially that first half, we were entertained in that first half, and I think second half it tailed off. Sancho got a bit tired, certain players got a bit tired, but step by step, mate, I think we can improve, and it's just all about the players willing to show. The manager's got the philosophy. The manager's proven he can do it in other teams. He's done it with the system, but can the players apply to themselves? Can they say to themselves, you know what, I want to be part of this team? And it will be the ones that do want to learn, and the ones that won't learn, mate, it's back of the class, mate. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, bless, man.